Most men over 50 ignore these 8 creatine effects. If you're a man over 50 and you've heard about creatine, you probably think you already know the story. It's for bodybuilders, it's only about muscle, it's risky at my age. Those ideas are everywhere, and they're exactly why most men over 50 overlook creatine entirely. The truth is, creatine has effects that go far beyond lifting heavy weights or chasing muscle size. Strength, energy, recovery, daily movement, even mental stamina can all be influenced in ways most people never hear about. Because the conversation stays stuck on gym culture, the most practical benefits get ignored. Not bodybuilding benefits, real-life benefits that matter more as you age. That's the missed opportunity. Creatine isn't magic, and it's not for everyone. But when used correctly, it can support the things that help men stay active, capable, and independent. Today, we're breaking down 8 effects of creatine nobody really talks about, so you can understand what actually matters and decide based on facts, not myths. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Creatine affects daily energy, not just workouts. This starts showing up outside the gym, which is where it matters most after 50. Creatine helps your body produce ATP, the primary energy source your cells use for movement. When ATP is more available, muscles can contract more efficiently and recover faster between efforts. That doesn't just affect workouts, it shows up in everyday moments most people don't think about. Standing up from a chair feels smoother. Climbing stairs takes less effort. Carrying groceries, lifting boxes, or doing yard work doesn't leave you as drained. These are small changes, but they add up to a noticeable difference in how capable your body feels day to day. Many men over 50 assume creatine only matters during intense training or gym sessions. In reality, its most valuable effects often appear during normal life. Anything that requires short bursts of effort, getting up, lifting, pushing, or pulling, relies on the same energy system creatine supports. This is why creatine isn't just about muscle size or aesthetics. It's about maintaining strength for daily function. When movement feels easier, people stay more active. And staying active is one of the most powerful ways to preserve strength, mobility, and independence as you age. Number 2. Muscles stay fuller and more functional. This isn't about looking jacked or chasing a younger physique. After 50, the goal shifts from appearance to function. Creatine pulls water into muscle cells, which helps keep them hydrated, healthier, and able to contract more efficiently. That hydration supports muscle performance, not vanity. As we age, muscles naturally lose size, strength, and efficiency, a process known as age-related muscle decline. This doesn't mean muscles stop working, but they do become less responsive and recover more slowly. Creatine doesn't stop aging or reverse time, but it helps muscles operate closer to their younger baseline. Well-hydrated muscle cells generate force more effectively and fatigue less quickly. That means everyday movements feel smoother and light resistance training becomes more productive. You're not building huge muscles, you're preserving useful muscle that helps you move, balance, and stay independent. This is why creatine matters even for men who never touch heavy weights. Walking, bodyweight exercises, and simple strength training all benefit from muscles that function efficiently. Creatine supports that efficiency. Think of creatine as maintenance, not transformation. It helps aging muscles do their job better, longer. The result isn't a dramatic visual change, it's strength that shows up where it counts. In daily life, stability, and long-term mobility. Number 3, strength maintenance becomes easier. Holding on to strength matters far more than gaining it, especially after 50. At this stage of life, the real challenge isn't building massive strength or chasing new personal records, it's preserving the strength you already have. That's what keeps daily life manageable and reduces the risk of injury. Creatine supports short-burst strength, the kind you use when lifting objects, standing up from the floor, catching your balance, or pushing yourself up from a chair. These quick, powerful movements are easy to overlook, but they play a huge role in independence and fall prevention. When short-burst strength declines, everyday tasks become harder and accidents become more likely. Many men focus on aesthetics when they think about strength. Bigger arms, visible muscle, gym performance. But after 50, functional strength matters more than appearance. The ability to move confidently, react quickly, and support your own body weight is what truly protects long-term health. Creatine doesn't turn you into a bodybuilder. It helps preserve the type of strength that disappears fastest with age. Combined with regular movement and light resistance training, it supports the kind of strength that keeps you capable, mobile, and safe, which is far more valuable than how muscles look in the mirror. Number 4. Recovery improves more than expected. This one surprises almost everyone, especially men over 50 who assume recovery just slows down and there's nothing to be done about it. Creatine helps muscles recover faster by supporting energy replenishment and cellular repair after physical activity. That means soreness doesn't hang around as long, and your body feels ready to move again sooner. This matters more than people realize. After 50, recovery is often the real limiting factor, not motivation, not discipline, and not willpower. Many people want to stay active, but lingering soreness or fatigue forces them to skip sessions or reduce movement. Over time, those missed days add up and progress stalls. When recovery improves, consistency improves. You're more likely to stick with walking, strength training, or daily movement because your body doesn't feel constantly beaten down. That steady consistency is what protects strength, mobility, and joint health long-term. Creatine doesn't eliminate soreness completely, and it doesn't replace rest or sleep. But it reduces the friction that makes staying active harder with age. By helping muscles bounce back a little faster, creatine supports the habit that matters most after 50, showing up again tomorrow. Number 5. Brain energy gets a quiet boost. Creatine isn't just a muscle supplement, even though that's how it's usually marketed. Your brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in your body, using a large share of your daily energy just to function normally. As you age, that energy production becomes less efficient, which can show up as mental fatigue, slower focus, or occasional brain fog. Creatine plays a role in brain energy metabolism, helping support ATP production in brain cells the same way it does in muscles. For some men over 50, this shows up as better mental clarity, improved focus during long days, or feeling less mentally drained by stress or decision-making. It's not a stimulant, and it doesn't create a sudden buzz. The effect is subtle but meaningful over time. Many men take creatine purely for physical reasons and completely ignore what it may be doing for their mind. They notice better workouts, but miss the quieter benefit of improved mental endurance. That's a missed advantage, especially in a stage of life where cognitive energy matters just as much as physical strength. Creatine isn't a cure for cognitive decline, but as a support tool, it can help the brain work more efficiently. Used consistently, it supports both body and mind, not just muscles. Number 6. Balance and stability quietly improve. This one matters more than most men realize because balance loss doesn't feel dramatic until it suddenly is. Creatine supports muscle energy at the cellular level, including the small stabilizer muscles in your legs, hips, and core. These muscles don't get much attention, but they play a huge role in keeping you steady. Stabilizer muscles fire constantly when you're walking, turning, stepping over obstacles, or catching yourself after a misstep. They rely on quick, repeated bursts of energy, exactly the type of work creatine helps support. When these muscles fatigue less, balance improves naturally. After 50, balance becomes a critical factor in staying independent. Falls are one of the biggest risks to long-term mobility, and they often happen not because someone is weak, but because small stabilizing muscles fail at the wrong moment. Creatine doesn't magically fix balance, but it helps those muscles perform more reliably during daily movement. What's important to understand is that this benefit shows up in normal life, not the gym. Better balance means more confident walking, smoother turns, and quicker reactions when something feels off. Combined with regular movement and light strength work, creatine supports the unseen muscles that quietly protect you every day, and that protection becomes increasingly valuable with age. Number 7. Weight gain isn't what it looks like. This is where a lot of men panic, especially after 50 when weight feels more personal and harder to manage. You start taking creatine, step on the scale, and suddenly the number is higher. The immediate assumption is fat gain. and that fear makes many people quit before seeing any real benefits. But this weight increase isn't fat. Creatine pulls water into muscle cells, increasing muscle hydration. That extra water has weight, and it shows up on the scale. What it doesn't do is increase body fat or harm your health. Hydrated muscles actually work better. They contract more smoothly, protect joints by improving shock absorption, and recover faster after movement. Well-hydrated muscle tissue is also less prone to strains and injuries. In other words, the very thing causing the scale to rise slightly is also helping your body move more safely and efficiently. The mistake is letting the scale become the decision maker. Numbers don't tell you where weight comes from or how your body is functioning. Strength, mobility, balance, and energy matter far more than a small change in scale weight. Quitting creatine because of water weight is like throwing away a useful tool because you misunderstood it. When you know what's actually happening, the panic disappears and the benefits make sense. Number 8. Confidence and consistency increase. This effect isn't physical, it's behavioral, and it's one of the most overlooked benefits of creatine. When you feel stronger, recover better, and have more usable energy, your confidence naturally increases. Not ego confidence, body confidence, the kind that makes movement feel less intimidating and effort feel more manageable. That confidence changes behavior. You're more likely to stick with walks, workouts, or daily movement because your body doesn't feel like it's constantly fighting you. Soreness is less discouraging, fatigue feels more manageable, and when movement feels better, consistency becomes easier. Creatine doesn't create discipline on its own. It won't force you to train, eat well, or sleep properly, but it lowers the friction that makes good habits hard to maintain, especially after 50, when recovery and energy are often the biggest barriers. This is why many men who take creatine don't just see physical changes, they see routine changes. They miss fewer sessions, they move more days per week, they build momentum instead of stopping and restarting. That momentum matters more than any single supplement effect. Over time, small improvements in consistency lead to better strength, balance, and overall health. Creatine isn't the reason you show up, it just makes showing up easier. So why do most men over 50 ignore these creatine effects? Because they're not flashy, they don't scream muscle gain, but they matter far more for long-term independence, strength, and quality of life. Creatine isn't about chasing youth, it's about supporting a body that's changing. Used correctly, creatine is one of the most researched, affordable, and practical supplements for men over 50. Not because it's magic, but because it supports what aging slowly takes away. Now I want to hear from you. Are you over 50 and using creatine or avoiding it? Which of these effects surprised you the most? If you want a follow-up video on creatine dosage after 50, kidney myths, or how to take it safely long-term, hit like, subscribe, and tell me what you want next. I'll see you in the next video.